It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from London Brewing Company, and this is a can of their Upright Session IPA. It's coming in at 4% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. There's a look at it. Without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening, beer in the glass. Whoa, looks really good. So I have a 400 milliliter glass here, you can see. So I reckon 440, if that head dissipated. We don't want it to dissipate, we want a nice head on it to... I like a nice head on a beer, to be honest. Good levels of carbonation. Hazy amber coloured ale, slow moving carbonation, but I like the haze on the beer. Looks really good. Session IPA at 4%. I reckon I might be able to squeeze this in, you know, and keep that bit of a head retention. Yeah, look at that. Now we got all the haze and all the bits and pieces now floating around in the glass. Look at that. Right, let's get the aroma, and then we'll talk a little bit about London Brewing Company as well. I think they got the most fantastic name for a brewing company, London Brewing Company. Here we go, aroma. So hoppy, such a hoppy. It brings on a smile. It really does bring on a smile when you get a nose of this beer. Tangerine flavours, orange peel, pepperiness, spiciness. It smells great. It smells great. I'm gonna dive in to this hazy amber coloured beer. Cheers, everybody. Full of tangerine flavours, beautiful. Tangerine, lemon, orange peel, a little bit of pineapple coming through, nice bitterness on the back end, a little bit of sweetness to begin with, a little bit of carbonation pushing the beer on the inside of the mouth. But what I've noticed from this brewery, all their beers are... they're no more than 5% ABV, generally around 4.5, 4% ABV. But that's okay. That is definitely okay. If you pack a beer full of malt, pack a beer full of hops, then you're going to get a good tasting beer. But not so much malt, because then you're going to create too much sugar, and then sugar gets eaten up by the yeast. So you'll either have an overly sweet beer if you add too much malt, or you'll have something that's about 8% ABV. But it's really tasty. It's really tasty for that 4% ABV. They do stouts, pale ales, a really good bitter. They do a fantastic best bitter, and again they're all around the 4%, 4.5%, 5% ABV. Nothing's like double IPA territory. Nothing's like super crazy, super bonkers. It's all kind of relatively decently kind of ABV'd for a session. There was a time in my craft beer journey where for me there was nothing better than sitting in the garden with either a double IPA or an Imperial Stout. But I seem to have kind of like come out the other end of that tunnel. I seem to have, along my journey, I seem to have like gone past that. I've started to revert back to the more sessionable but full-bodied, really good tasting session IPAs, pale ales, that sort of kind of thing. Because I just think you can drink more of it. I like to drink in a rather large space, a rather large, kind of like a 4-hour time scale. I like an afternoon drink. That's what I'm trying to say. Like 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. Put a few beers in the fridge, the bar fridge out there. Sit in the garden, play some music, pour myself some 4.5% beers, and just enjoy the afternoon. You can't, even though I'll stop you there before you start frantically typing. Even though in the middle of winter, autumn, rainy autumn day, rainy spring day, I do like a double IPA, an Imperial Stout next to the fire, that sort of thing. During the summer months where we are now, much prefer like a complete afternoon session, like a 4-hour session drinking 4.5 ABV beers. And I hope you can relate with me here. I hope you can kind of like relate to what I'm trying to say here with, I'm reviewing this in the summer months. It's really tasty. It's really tasty. You could buy their whole range. You could buy 4 or 5 of their range. Sit in the garden, enjoy a few of these. They're really good. Right, let's have a read on the side of the can. A West Coast classic that hits you with tangerine and grapefruit aromas before balancing with a lush citrus pith finish. This session IPA is ideal for upright Victorian gentlemen of yesteryear, as it is for the beer lovers of today. Water, malted barley, hops, yeast, and it's a vegan friendly beer. They're based in North Finchley in London. I'm going to Brew London. I'm going to London myself. This probably won't be posted before Brew London. I have rather a large backlog of beers that I'm getting through at the moment. So, but I'm due to go to Brew London in 3 days' time, and I can't wait, to be honest. I can't wait to get down and have a few days away. Looking forward to it. But yeah, this beer, Upright Session IPA, I'm going to rate it. I think it's great. If I see their stand in Brew London, I will be sure to pop by and have a fresh keg or cask of some of their beer. Cheers, guys. Let's rate it. I like it enough to give it I reckon an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.